welcome. It is 7 past 7 p.m., but we are coming live straight from the chair at Gresham Giles Salon. Crystal Gresham Giles, my co-host,
CiCi Outstanding,
and our wonderful Miss Patrice Sway McKinney. Yes, we are talking to Sway about her transitioning and being
Absolutely.
Yeah. So she's from the industry we talking about. Hair and beauty, the $1 billion industry. And sorry, the best
industry.
I was just teaching a class earlier today, and CiCi's assistants were on, and you still have people, parents, and I mean, their parents couldn't have been too much older, but still think that this is not a lucrative career. College, you need a college education. You need a college education. I'm like, you missing millions, babe. So what are we doing? Like, we have really got to, and I take it, we have to create the environment to make people respect us.
Exactly. I agree.
We have to make the best and understand that why this industry is one of the best industries, why we're important, and why we're valuable.
Exactly.
And understand just don't understand the value of this industry.
Exactly.
And Sway understands it. Woo. So introduce yourself, Sway. Tell us.
Media handles are Sway _pro. And real quick, it's funny because I remember when I decided to be a master barber back in my hometown, Lansing, Michigan, where my family members were like, "Why do you want to be a barber?" I remember a family member specifically saying, "You're going to make," like, "Dang, what does that mean?" He was like, "You're going to make just enough to buy some cigarettes."
Wow.
I was like, "Dang." He was like, you're always outside on break smoking a cigarette. And at that time, I was like, that's kind of true. But the reason why was because I did my research. So I looked beyond the city that I was in. I was actually looking at in LA. We normally look at businesses and careers that we pursue and why they're failing, but we don't look at like, okay, well, who's actually successful out here? So I looked beyond my city, and like I said, and I was like, dang, they really making some money and living good as a barber. So I started, and went ahead and pursued my career, and one of the best decisions I ever made. So
cool. I mean, people really just, I've had that aunt that tell, I had a cousin that did hair. You need to become a school teacher, you need to do something. And I was just that rebellious kid. If they told me no, I was going to prove it.
I am a teacher.
Listen, I just was one of those that if you didn't think that it was a lot of money being made, the beauty supply stores were not just being the beauty supply.
They were just a beauty supply
store. Right. It was a reason. And I enjoyed what I did. People, they hate going to work. And it's something when you can really enjoy what you do. Daily. How long have you been in the industry?
I started I got my license in 2014. So what is that, about 8 years?
Wow. Oh, you're young. And this is ready to be great because a lot of people like me, I've been in the industry for 27 years. So listening to someone who's come out and then flipped it, like she retired from behind the chair. I'm about to leave y'all. Come on. Let's talk to Swell away to see how we gonna get from behind the chair. What made you like get behind the chair and then
so my mother and my sister were in the hair and beauty industry. So my mom and my twin. And years ago, actually, I used to do eyebrows. So like when I was in high school, I would just go in the salon and do eyebrows. How it felt, the environment. Like I used to walk in like, man, the barbers, they get to wear what they want to wear. They make it like, everybody's in there getting beautified, good. So that really attracted me to the, and so I always really had my exit plan, right? So initially I was like, I want to open a barbershop. And I was like, you know what? No, hold on. Like, don't skip it. If you really want to be a part of this industry, you want to be a barber.
Stop right there.
I was
just stop right there. Tell them again.
Plan.
We had the exit plan from the beginning.
But you had the mentality to know.
Learn the industry. If you want to be a good owner, learn the industry. And it's an industry I really want to be in. Any
best thing, because to own a Chick-fil-A franchise, you know, you have to learn how to work the whole to the fries to everything. And that was a great example, because people just think, I don't know how to do hair, but I want to open.
Exactly.
But
they do that with a lot of businesses.
People have done a lot of salons before us were like people who were investors. So that model you just displayed, I mean, even just walking in with an exit plan.
Yeah, we came in with a plan. I was coming in just do what I love. Now I'm looking for the exit.
I remember seeing like older people, you know, like I know a guy that literally was still cutting. I couldn't believe that. And I was like, wow, like I understand a lot of us don't have an exit plan. You know what I mean? We don't know how to set up for retirement. So I always knew that I just wanted to be so busy. I was like, I'm not mine. I'm always trying to do a lot. So I did have an exit plan. I actually left my corporate job. I was working at a limousine company. It was a chauffeur transportation company. I was getting paid really, really well. And I quit and worked overnight at Walmart to be a manager so that I can go to barber school.
Oh,
wow. And I tell people this all the time, like the students that I was in school with, like they're not surprised at my success. I doubt it, because I like when people came in, I was like, come here, like let me get this practice. They want to go outside, take breaks, and I was like, let me mess up now. I said, y'all playing, y'all better get all these mistakes out while you in school. I was rushing them. I was watching YouTube, you know, because just to be honest, my school didn't really teach us much. I was like 6 months in before we even learned the haircut 9-month program. I had to go to the owner and say, y'all just trying to get financial aid money or what?
But tell them about school. School teaches you how to get a life
stuff. Right. Yeah. I mean, just the basics. But who, you know, if you want to be great.
But with barbering, I will say that's a little different, because you can get a lot more practice in.
Absolutely. Realistic practice.
Realistic practice.
Exactly. Not all the mannequin. So we would get a lot of little kids and, you know, come in and we would practice on them. I was one of those students that was like, look, I'm going to get it all in right now down in the real world and charge somebody. And then I got to make sure I'm delivering. So I just took school and sacrifice. I had a good paying corporate job, a master's degree. But I just really wanted to, again, make it a sacrifice, which I didn't want to do. I hated working overnight. I knew the plan, you know what I mean? And so I stuck with it and was consistent. And
right decision, make it plain. Yeah. Like, it is definitely, she's teaching us. Like, we have some form of plan, because I knew from the beginning I wanted to open up a salon like that. I always open up me a salon. So with that, you know, I knew.
Right.
Hold on. Whoa. Who that? Yo, you know.
Was the door locked?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I need you to pick around the corner.
We're live. We have someone enter.
We live, y'all. Let me tell y'all. Y'all know I'm from Bankhead. All I kept saying is, that's literally, I was sitting here like, it's right there. I have not.
I guess we good. But I was like, let me make sure.
Listen, I always it's my cousin. She cleans up.
Oh, okay.
So the only person that has the key. Like, I'm like, so I could only think it was three people that could get in.
Okay.
But you wasn't responding.
Listen, I had to go beat them before they came up.
This is live, y'all. This is for real live.
Welcome to behind the scenes, straight from the chair. that was a real. This is how it is. So it is all good. We're back on it. Sway was positioning in her plan. We was talking about writing the vision and making it plain. And even with having the vision to open up my own salon, I always kind of knew I wanted a bigger salon, but I will tell you the toughness of hiring them on and wanting more for people than they wanted for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Shifted
for me, and I was able to barbershop. And what I did notice is that people talk to men different than they talk. They like in authority figure. They address men different. So he does all that. He get people in and out. I just sit back now. I'm like, I'm not hiring no more. But you went to school.
Yeah, went to school.
You got an exhibit.
Got out school. Literally, my first day was New Year's Eve. I never they gonna be coming in here. I remember like
You
not
started off
wanting to come in, but wanting to come in like, oh, I walk in the door because I gotta get started.
You started in Lansing?
No, I started in Atlanta.
Oh,
This is all in Atlanta. Yep. Rewind a little bit. I was in Lansing. I went to college at Michigan State. Played basketball pro, but I chose not to because they just weren't paying the women enough. Like, I had friends that said so the WNBA players have to work 2 jobs. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of them are women's college overseas.
Okay.
And I was just like, dang, like I love this sport, but they want us for so long with such little pay. You know, I still got to find another job, and I don't want that. So I was like, maybe with that. So not with my own horn, but I was a pretty good basketball player. Some move, and me and my sister, that's when we got into music. It was like this big uproar. It was news articles to go into entertainment. And like a lot of people were upset that I had turned down.
Oh wow.
And so me and my twin sister, I have an identical sister, City, or tapping with the twins.
Yes.
And we were into music, so we were doing music really, really big. Wayne, Rick Ross. We met like major labels. We did. Always told me like, believe it or not, we met with Rock, and they wanted me to wear butt pads. And it was a lot of that. Now this was before Young M.A. and all these other people that came out. It wasn't really.
You're selling some of the behind the scenes stuff. For real.
So that was.
It was like
wow.
You know, I'm not feminine enough. They wanted me to be really, really feminine, which you know, just really.
Right.
So it was just difficult for me. I would do it in photo shoots. Like if you Google some of our photo shoots, I'm in makeup. I cut my hair, but it never really felt right.
Gotcha.
But I tried to just kind of look at it like acting. I had to sit at these tables and stuff, and I'm basically saying, "Look, we need you to change who you are completely."
Right.
Like, we did that. I was manager. We got, like I said, a lot of big shows, a lot of we have like stuff like that, Apple Music. But I was like, this industry is a little bit funny. A lot of men that wanted like sexual favors, even from me. It was like it was happening to me more than my sister. It was like real talk. We did a song with a very popular person here in Atlanta. Long story short, when we went to pick up the final copy, he wanted a sexual favor, and we didn't get the music. Wow. And I remember my sister feeling really, really bad, and I was like, F, none of that to get no music or nothing.
So that is that. So what people really talk about is like,
even I thought I was saying.
You thought you were saying.
Please. Complete opposite.
Wow.
No. Did you say?
No.
It was not that person. We ain't talking no names.
No, but it's just because, you know, you really hear those things, and you see these people. Wow, did you really do?
Yeah. It was surprising. It was frustrating. It was just all sexual, and I was like, we don't want to do this. So it was like, you know what? The entrepreneur bag. You know, back then, man, these entrepreneurs, especially in Atlanta,
right?
I'm like, they doing their thing in every industry. So I always wanted to do the barbershop thing. Let me just go back to that, and open a salon and stuff like that. Into the hair and the beauty industry, and like I said, it's just one of the best industries to me. I love that it allows freedom. Boss, you still have to have some discipline, right? That's the hardest part about being an entrepreneur, but making people feel good. You know what I mean? The conversation, the people you meet, the environment, the atmosphere of the hair and beauty industry.
How long were you behind the chair, actually?
I want to say, that's funny to say that. I haven't been behind the chair for about 3 years now.
Okay.
Yep. So
you only did 5 years behind the chair.
Look. Let's dive in. Hold on a minute. I didn't do my blueprint.
Right. She did 5 years behind the chair.
Wow.
Let's be real nosy and see how 5 years behind the chair.
Wow.
Expertise in barbering, because you around about how much did barbering give you?
For real, I was definitely making like right about 6 figures. My first like only 2 years for sure.
Gotcha. So as a barber, you made 6 figures.
Oh, absolutely.
6 figures.
Absolutely.
But go back to what she was saying at first. She has her master's.
No,
but you knew business coming in, so
True.
I think that's where the
it might be, but still, no. That's what I'm like. You don't have to have a master's to do
to cut.
Tell me,
Business.
You
too,
gotta
you know
have
what I mean?
business.
But it's really just like that passion and really and that ambition. You know what I mean? Like to really be great at whatever you're doing. So
tell us the recipe. Making 6 barbers.
Listen, so actually on my page, I actually break it down how many haircuts it takes, how many hours, and the price. It was like. So you have to be a professional barber or cosmetological clients and to really scale, period. You have to be professional. Some people just they don't like a side hustle, which is why you get side hustle results. But you have to treat it like you're on time, right? Now we know things aren't perfect. So communication is the biggest thing on both. Right. And if you're not late all the time, and your clients understand if you're a little bit behind, but also making sure you're not just chasing money, but that you stand strong on like your company policy. So if they're late past whatever time, don't take them, because me in my opinion, I'm gonna be the one stressed all day playing catch up, and that's when you start not liking the career, and you look, you charge a fee, and they got to reschedule. You know what I mean? You squeeze them, skip around the house, and you stressed all day trying to play catch up, and then the other clients after that, why you're late for them, and they don't care that you're late because another client. You're just little like that, and again, stuff happens, so it's just communicating. Make sure you're scheduling yourself properly, making sure you're giving yourself a break, because I don't understand these stylists that just be going to do it, but I'd be like, y'all, please just take 10 minutes. They might do it. I don't know. Y'all take breaks?
I had to learn how to take breaks. Okay. I'm a hard to it. I tell my stylists when I'm educating, you have to be dependable. People got to know that you've been there. So when you're in the salon and you have these men, well, you got to attract. You got to attract that energy. So if you're not here, so those first week, that first month, you might sit. But guess what? The energy, they're going to know that you've been there. Yeah. You stay. Like you said, when you leave and go take a break, okay, you got something to eat. Right. No, I mean, come on. Like, really. You take a minute, I go back in the back, I come back out. But
I'll take 30.
I was going to say, I'll take 30 minutes. I
mean, if you can. I get at the beginning, you hustling and bustling. I get it, you know what I mean? You're just trying to, still making sure we just preserve our bodies, our mind, all that part. Because you can just overwork yourself. I hate the industry. I'm working so hard, I'm never getting a break, and I'm not even scaling and growing. And
sitting in your office on a cryo machine because you just had knee surgery.
That too.
Now I take 30 minutes for a whole 30 minutes just to sit and relax my knee. Yeah. But the clients, they get that. They know the surgery just happened. So, but yes, like we really understand the value of being a professional in the industry. So the flip side, customers to be on time, and we don't want to charge them late fees, but the professional stylist, if they are not, if your clients are never on time, it's probably 9 times out of 10 because you're never on time.
Respect your business, you don't,
and you don't respect yours. So that's the thing. Like, you got to what you want to receive. Being on time is not showing up when the client show up. On time before time.
So look, y'all, let's see if we have any questions from Instagram. Anybody from Sway or on Facebook, if there are any questions, just type them in the chat, because the chat is working right. I'll type them in the chat for us. Look, I was trying to see what that was. A lady saying, hey, Crystal.
Yeah, so yes, we are here with Sway, the entrepreneur, and she is talking about how she went from being a au pair, turning down a professional career. Like, we learning so much about Sway today. Professional career to become a barber, but she already had an exit plan. So now that you're the barber, you've been 5 years, and boom.
I've been in it, actually, it was about 2 years I was in it. I worked in a traditional bar for the first year. I started going to, I don't know if y'all remember Salon Ramsey.
Yes.
So I started going in, and I'm like, what the heck is this? It's a whole little mini suites, and he those big suites where you could put like 10, 15 chairs in one suite. Wow.
Yes.
A whole full-out salon. That's okay. That's what's up. So long story short, something happened. They had to open another location. And so I went there when they were literally like planning, and they had the tape on the floor and stuff. I had already calculated. And I said, these are salons. It's like, I always say, like you said, we try to micromanage and force people to be motivated. So this might be better. So I would peep in every couple of weeks and just watching. Like, okay, they tape. Okay, they draw it out. Okay, they put the floor, the plumbing up. So I was just watching it together. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I'm learning a lot of things working in the salon suites, because a lot of like they said, a lot of owners don't have it. Well, I know some things I could do differently that really make my business stand out if I did this. So first it was like 50 times, 250 times, 2 times 3, and I was like, ooh, this is pretty loose. So party, we started a salon suite in West Atlanta. That partnership we parted ways. And I started the brand in 2017. Yep. I opened our first location in Atlanta, had 16 suites. I filled it up before. The following year, I opened in Marietta. This year, location in Sandy Springs, which is our largest location. It's our flagship location. Thank you. It's the toughest. We built it through COVID, so we paid way more than we needed to. It was a situation where we hired someone to run it, and what I learned is that person that I put my business exactly. I just trusted it too much, and it was my first time learning. So I don't feel like I could have did better at training her and making sure she was prepared, because this was from scratch, full build out, and I kind of just threw it on her, and so it was I and actually Friday.
Failures. You included I won't say failures. I like to call them the experiences, the lessons. Yes, the lessons that you learn, because a lot of people, especially these young people, they think they're just supposed to come out and boom, I'm gonna go to the top like Ellie's. But that's what makes it better, because now you know how to hire somebody. Now you know what you need to focus on. What you need to put to the side, what's important to you. Your mom is very important to you. You post your mom a lot. She is. How does your mom feel about
it? I think sometimes it's like in shock, like, do you really own that? You really own those? And you really very, very proud. You know, she was a single mother. It's me and my twin, and then we have a younger set of twins, are 22. And then my mother was actually pregnant with a third set of twins, but she lost those. But we raised all 5 of us, and she's always just been super supportive. You know, she moved to Georgia just so, Mom, we want to go be some rappers. I was like, I saved up for a year, Mom. We got it. We good. I'll come. And she just always believed in us, and we moved to Georgia. And that whole experience, briefly on that, again, just on sacrifice.
Hamilton Road. I said, CiCi, what? Wait, who you gonna bring over here? Now let me tell you, the spot, I could have helped somebody do a great spot. I went over there, we went through it. I was like, oh, this is right. You can do this, do this. But what outside that door, I don't know how you gonna get them inside. Great job. He just wanted $12. But I know that. My clients are not gonna know that. Like they don't know that. So you have to really think about who your clientele is and who are you trying to reach when you open up something. So when she said she was doing a salon suite spot, I was like, where is it? But she found a good location this time, y'all.
She did.
Yes.
Great location.
Yes.
Loving it.
So how does it feel to be a suite owner, salon suite owner?
I know, right?
Well, you said I don't walk into it like I'm supposed to.
You don't.
Like I guess
I made to invest with such and such, but anyway, she's like, wait, hold on. Like, stop. What you did is great. You know what I mean? So I'm really learning that though. Like sometimes I'm so shocked. Sometimes I really don't remember what all I've done. And my twin sister be like, you remember you did this, you did that. I'm like,
let's not cut out the fact that Sway said my number one thing. Y'all know what I've been advocating for.
one lady, I remember telling her, she's like, well, what all you got going on? And I tell her what all I had what all I had going on, and she was like, well, what's wrong with you? You got a business, you got such and such. I'm like, what?
Oh yeah, no.
So I'm just perfect because I all the time. Her name is Lori. Lori Therapy on Instagram. She's amazing. Like amazing.
Yeah.
Individual, family, couples, whatever you need.
Yes, I love therapy. Like you said, and you have to pick a therapist like you pick a hairstylist. Mm-hmm. Everybody don't work the right way. Yeah, but don't give up.
True.
And you have to interview your therapist also.
Yeah, exactly.
This is my
Do
third
your research
one.
too.
And if your therapist don't have a therapist, get another one. Mm-hmm. That was one of the
Say
keys.
that part again.
If your therapist does not have a therapist, because imagine a therapist collecting everything that somebody dumps on them all day.
Yeah.
And they just sitting with that. No, you gotta go get that off you. That's why we in this beauty industry, because we are the therapist in the chair, we have to go release all this. I don't see how people don't release this no more. I mean, I guess I could because I'll be acting like I've been doing this like 10 years. It's only been 3 years that I've been in therapy, but it has been such a helpful experience to be able to realize that the only person you can control is you.
Exactly.
And when you really adapt to that, you look at people, they be like, oh, you can speak to her. I be like, yeah, girl. I don't care what you did to me.
Exactly, right.
You all right with me, honey, because you are obsolete. Like, you don't even matter no more. And I can still be friends with you. Like, not even friends. I can still have my peace. Because the one thing I learned about in therapy is that me being a control freak. I like being in control, right? Okay. And the fact that anybody can control my emotions by their presence or their actions meant they had control over me, I'd be like, hell no, you can't control me. I felt like a puppet. Like, you feel like a puppet. Every time she come around, or every time he come around, I'm like, oh. Right. You are actually controlling all of my actions. And I was like, no, I can't have anybody controlling me like that. I got to be in control. So yeah, that was one of the biggest things that I learned about with therapy. Yeah.
I think the thing that I did learn, I'm on a 2-week break, y'all. She's on vacation. But the thing that I do love about what my therapist taught me was how to just push back on some conversations. You have some of those clients who come in and just want to give you all the bad information. Change the subject. Just change the subject, because we forget we wear all that. Yeah. And wearing all that, we're dealing with our own stuff. So I've learned how to pivot that conversation, and it's like,
or not even allowing it to affect you. Because you know, they think we're therapists too. They come to the salon barbershop to vent sometimes. And trust me, I get it. So I have to just mentally just tap out.
I mentally, when you hear me say, honey, I done told the Lord to take over this. I be like, Father God, this is not mine. This is for you, and I don't have any room or space for it. Like, I don't even, sometimes they just be so far. And then it's crazy because one of my clients came to me the other day. She was like, okay, so I got to tell you this because I need to know your reaction. I was like, you waiting on me to She was like, because I know you give it to me straight with no chaser. And she had did something. And I was like, oh, you did a good job. She was like, now I know it was really good because you didn't say nothing. I was like, dang, and that's the value that people have to understand that we have. Yes. That's the value that people understand how we are the therapists, but we don't really want to be your therapist.
I don't. I do not. To be honest, I don't want.
We appreciate making y'all beautiful and feeling better, but we also understand all that comes with your personal. So being behind this chair, we do have to take on a lot. So I can see why Sway was in and out.
Clearly.
So how is it dealing with tenants now in the?
And you know what? Luckily, I was blessed with really good clients because I set the tone too. I think that's the key too, is to set the tone. That I mean, when they went to my booking site, they took me serious because the way I worded stuff. When they came in, the way I greeted them, they respect me as a business. So for the most part, I had good clients, but of course, we get those ones every once in a while.
Right.
With the tenants is much easier. Let me make sure I mean that. It's easier when it comes to workload, of course, because you're not micromanaging. They're responsible for their own clients, services, hours. They run their own business, so they don't necessarily work for me. And I think I'll take that back. It was pretty easy, just to be honest, in the beginning. Setting that tone during the tour will help eliminate those people that won't be a good fit for your salon suite. So I think that's another thing I didn't really teach to our GM when she took over Sandy. I think she was maybe too nice, and they kind of started running over her. Gotcha. And I was like, oh no, you can be nice and still be stern and still uphold your company policies. So. Because that's how I am. Some people, when I worked in my Atlanta salon suites, we would have events and stuff, and some owners would be like, "Wow, how are you friends with your tenants?" I'm like, they still respect me. We can go out and have a drink, and they still know rent is due tomorrow, and if not, there's a late fee. You know what I mean? They just respect that. So yeah, with the tenants, it's pretty cool with the tenants. I'm not really there that much, honestly. I haven't been here in probably a year or something. I don't really go to the locations anymore, but
It's funny you say the different environments, and I know you get friends with Omar.
Yeah.
And I remember my son, we found Omar, we found Kyrie first.
Okay.
And Kyrie had so many people. And, I was a real mama with, no, we're not getting ready to sit and wait for this because I had an appointment. And I was like, somebody's getting ready to cut his hair. So that's how Omar became my son's barber. Okay. And I just remember going over there and I was just like, this is too much going on. My anxiety was like on 10. Omar might have a DJ. He might have everything going on in the salon. Yes, but that was his energy. Yeah. Wow. He was, because they will be in there and that's how fast, like he twists to his music, he does it, and that's his thing. Like it is pure energy. And you have a clientele that loves it. Right. And I was like, Omar, you really, he was like, Chris, I love this. Like this gives me energy every day. And you can go in there and be 100 people.
Listen. And buy anything you need in there.
And buy anything you need.
Socks, food. Listen, I love Omar's. I say that all the time because some people will come to my salon suites and I can tell that they fit better at his because they want a more active, loud music and just, a lot of action. Then you got some people who just want it to be private and quiet and you know what I mean? So it's just all about who you're catering to for sure.
And in a medium, you got a medium, like I would put our salon and barbershop at a medium range. Like it's not too comfortable. You come in, you just got to be this, and you got to overdress and stuff. But it's definitely not the hood you're not getting ready to have. Because one of the biggest things they were like, well, Crystal, can we put a TV? No.
That's my thing.
So they was like, why can't we put a TV? We were really having a discussion. I said, for one, men and football on Saturday. This would be a hangout.
Ooh, that's a good point.
And Thursday night, men would be in here watching football, and it creates another environment. Now, if y'all want to go open up a little sports bar, then we can do that. But what we're not gonna do is make people. And I remember one of the barbers, he was like, "Well, people. The barbershop's supposed to be a place where people can come and collab. No, not here. Right. You come and get a hair. This is a lounge, barber lounge and salon. You come and get a haircut and you leave." Like that's what it is, and you got an appointment, so we're not having a whole line of people sitting. Exactly. You have appointments. We have an appointment system, so you can book. So you have to really understand who you are and what your desires is to become. How you're gonna run yours. So what's your energy in your salon suite?
We're very laid back. When I tell you, it's very laid back. It's exclusive. You deal with your professional and your professional only. To the point we do have a common area. Now that's what I did want to put back into the suites, was having that common area to still have that salon feeling. So we're pretty much we kind of still laid back in there. We don't have a TV yet, but y'all, I have a partner. And that's one of my dilemmas with my partner. And I'm like, no.
Inside the suites, you're saying, or in the back?
No, in the back, in the common area. Okay. And it's like, I'm more so just want to have the music going because again, it starts to take away that feeling of. I think it's more upscale to me. That TV takes away the upscale environment. So y'all, that's something we're going back and forth on. We don't have a TV yet.
I had 3 TVs in my Atlanta lounge deal, and I tell you to this day now, they don't even cut them on. See, it was just a waste of TVs.
That's what I feel. 3.
It's like the TVs do change the environment. If you think back when you was a little girl and the TV was on, it was just like the little hood salon, sit and everybody watching. But you don't watch about 15 episodes or something. And that's the other thing. People start counting how long they're there. They don't watch the whole movie. The movie was 2.5 hours and you still ain't came out. Like, now you clocking time. Yeah. And that's the thing now. We have too many other technology that you can use. You can watch what you want because maybe somebody don't want to watch that. But ultimately, I didn't want all the men in here being all loud and like it was no, that's just not where it's gonna be.
You said that too, so I'll mention that. If you got TVs, they're not even coming on. What's the
exactly?
I got a TV in my room.
Exactly
actually.
In your room though. I mean, that's okay. Yeah, for that brief time that they're in a common area.
Just gotta do it. You can put some fish on it. Just let the fish go across the screen. Just something for audience or the video, the price list, or you can put the logos, different. You can let them. Yeah, like if you had clientele where was walk in and people would really see.
Gonna sit and look at it.
And I think that's the difference though in today's time. I mean, it's all about the time. It's how quick you can get them in, how quick you can get them out. Back in the day, I think it was more so the salon was the hangout spot, the barbershops are the hangout spots. But now it's you come in and we got you on the clock when you step foot through the door.
Everything is about time, and everything is definitely about time.
Exactly.
But yeah, so Sway is now an author.
Yes.
Tell us about your book, Sway.
So I have a book called Real Lessons for Real Life. It's targeted towards like middle school and high schoolers, but I found a lot of feedback from adults that actually say it's pretty good too. So the inspiration behind the book is, I was just thinking a lot of the things that a lot of the lessons that we really need in life, we aren't taught in school. We're taught crazy math equations and we're taught a lot about our history, but we're not really taught like how to maneuver through the future and things like that. So and just about basic lessons that we really, really need to maneuver through life. You talk so much about science. What if you're not really trying to be a scientist? You know what I mean? So it took me about 2 years. I did a lot of overthinking and stuff like that. But I finally, just trying to make sure I put the right topics in and that it wasn't too overwhelming, but that they could still, retain some of the information. So basically, some of the chapters it's a little bit of everything. So the first chapter is titled "Love Yourself." So just making sure that people understand that above anything, above career, success, money, you have to love yourself in order to enjoy it, right? Because you can be wealthy and miserable, you know what I mean, and unhappy. So in order to enjoy life, period, you must love yourself. But then we talk about like everything. We talk about showing appreciation, just how you have to, to your parents and to your teachers, or like if you're in trouble, or how to regain trust. If you need help in school, what do? You don't just sit around, right? You go ask for extra credit. You ask for a tutor. If you're in trouble with your parents or your teachers, well, how do you respond to that? You don't just sit there and accept it, right? You figure out what adjustments you can make to try to get out of the situation. So you maybe go ask your parents to wash their car, or you write a letter accepting responsibility. But we go into things like anxiety, dealing with anxiety, depression, and sadness, whether it's you or if you know a kid that's going through something who may appears to be suicidal, how to respond to it, right? When do you reach out to somebody else? How to avoid negative people, peer pressure. Then we talk about entrepreneurship and the fact that everyone doesn't have to be an entrepreneur, right? Everyone shouldn't be. You can work a 9 to 5 and still be successful, happy, and wealthy. I give them the 10 steps to start a business. We talk about confidence and courage, and speaking with confidence, making eye contact, and how it demands respect. People take you serious, like all that type of stuff. I can go on and on and on, but it has 24 chapters.
Wait a
minute. Hold on, wait a minute. You give that to us, who?
So it has a worksheet at the end of each chapter just to make sure that they retain it. It has like affirmations. I give them some homework, a sample business plan, help them set goals, things like that. So that's my most exciting project. I'm just looking to get into schools and get into stores and stuff like that. But yeah, that's it. It's available on Amazon right now. Real Lessons for Real Life.
Real Lessons for Real Life.
Let me order mine
tonight.
And then one other thing, real cool. So if you don't, what I'll tell parents is like sometimes it might not be easy for your kid to pick it up and read it, right? So what you can do is just if they're like on punishment, or you don't let them go somewhere for the weekend, or you take their phone and get their game away, don't present it like a punishment, but say, hey, while you have some downtime, here's something you can do that'll better you in life anyway. You don't have nothing to do anyway, so go ahead and read 2 chapters and do 2 of the worksheets. But again, don't present it as a punishment, because it's not. It's really a blessing. They might not understand it right from there, but just finding ways to introduce it to them. So.
That's right. I love it. Like
8 years, Arthur. Franchise. You have franchise. You have sweets.
Wait, you forgot she was a basketball star a long time ago.
Rapper.
She was a rapper. She had a podcast. She had a podcast.
What's next?
Yep.
What's next?
What's next? I mean, we've been thinking about doing a podcast again, but I'm really focused more on semi-absentee investments. So I'm doing a lot of like even private investments, secret advice investments. Eventually, I want to open a lounge and like a juice bar and health bar. So that's the next 2 on my list. That'll be happening next year.
I really got to catch up. I'm getting ready to start running, like running. I'm glad you talked about the book. I seen it with Michelle Obama today with Kelly Rowland, and she was talking about, well, sometimes you want to be friends with your kids, want to be able to have that trust, and Michelle was saying that you don't want to be your friend's kid, your kid's friend, because you don't want them to learn. You want them to learn all the unfairness, the unhappiness at home. Like when things are not fair in the world, you don't want them to go out and because we friends, I can't discipline you.
Right.
I can't tell you what to do. You don't want that to be an interaction with the teacher or some other authority because they didn't learn that at home. You want to be able to put them on punishment and them to get upset and learn how to handle that. And that's what it sounds like. Your book will help them with, like, what are you doing? Are you going to take responsibility for your actions? You know, that's what when you were talking about the book, I was like, oh yeah, that was a good point. So that was perfect. It was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Having you here. I'm so glad you came in. I know me and CiCi met her at different times. I didn't realize I was the one that turned you on to, because I know, because I know she wanted to do the suite. So I was like, oh, I already know somebody who's like booming, and she is killing the game. We're gonna definitely continue to follow y'all. Follow Sway. It's what's your
Sway underscore SWAY underscore the pro THEPRO.
Yes. And Sway, give us the last minute, give us some inspiration, like for even us that's been in the industry, like how do we make that next step? What does that look like?
I think just doing some research and looking at people that, like CiCi said, that are already doing or already are where you want to be, but making sure you're doing your research, because it's a lot of fake leaders and stuff out here, right? But then doing your research and then actually executing. You know, we sit and we go take classes and courses and webinars and we don't execute. So having a game plan, actually making sure you execute, having discipline and consistency, you know what I mean, will definitely get you to the next level. And of course, faith. So say your affirmations every day.
Affirmations every day. Yes. I appreciate you. We appreciate you, CiCi, for being in here.
I appreciate you, Crystal.
Yes, and we are back, y'all, straight from the chair. We thank y'all tonight for joining us. Y'all have a good night.
And we won't be live this Saturday, y'all. We won't be live this Saturday. It's Christmas Eve. I won't be there. Crystal come straight from the chair.
I don't have a little bitty people that I have to sit up for.
I'll join you, but I won't be behind the chair on Saturday.
Yes, I'll be behind.